Well, we got a different crew here doing the driveway and the utilities than who did the site prep, which should be kind of cool. It's different equipment, different guys, so I'm looking forward to this. The bad news is it's been raining like the last 12 hours and everything is completely saturated, soaking wet, including me.
These guys have 4 separate jobs to take care of while they're here. The first one is the driveway, and the general contractor recommended, and I thought it was good advice, to make the driveway a straight line from the street to the garage. No fancy curves, no big roundabout, at least not now, maybe someday, but just a straight shot from the street to the garage, widening as it gets closer to the house. So that's what they're doing. First, they dig down, I think like 4 or 5 inches to remove that top layer, and then you will see them replace the top layer with rock. And not small rock, but big, chunky rocks. I think it's like 4-inch minus or something like that. That means rocks 4 inches and then everything smaller than that as well. This part of the driveway is new, meaning there's never been a road or a driveway here before. So they're putting down this road fabric, which keeps the rock from pressing and sinking down into the soil. The driveway looks really nice, all brand new like this, but it is kind of just a construction driveway. It's going to get completely beat up and destroyed over the course of construction, and then at the very end, they will finish it and put a nice layer of smaller gravel on the tip top to freshen it all up. The second job is to dig a trench to bring in the utilities. In particular here, the electrical, the cable, and fiber, which we are really fortunate to have. And they're bringing it in right along the property line here, kind of along that fence, straight back to the house. I think this trench was like 2.5 feet deep or maybe 3 feet deep or something like that. Wow. So much water in the ground.
It's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah. Jeez.
Get out of here.
That wasn't there right when you dug. It's just seeping in.
Yeah, just groundwater.
There's the transformer, and the power will come down into this conduit right here. So the power company will do all that, of course, but it'll go from there to the house.
Job number 3 is backfill. In the garage and in the front and back patios, they are backfilling with rock. And it was a ton of rock. You're not going to believe how much rock had to come in. This is the quarry where the rock is coming from, and it's just a few miles from here, thankfully. And this rock is basalt. In fact, I think most of Oregon is covered in basalt, which is a volcanic rock. There's a lot of volcanic rock in Oregon because there's a lot of volcanoes in Oregon and all of the Northwest, really. But even just in Oregon, I think there's 4 or 5 that are classified at the highest threat level. And as I was putting this video together, I kind of went down a rabbit hole learning about the geology and understanding why this is, and it is really neat. And I'm going to link to one video in particular that I really enjoyed that explains nicely why there's so many volcanoes up here. But the silver lining is that we've got this great building material, and it's used for everything around here. Asphalt and concrete and roads and landscaping and probably a million more uses that I'm not aware of. Around other parts of the house, they backfill with just the native soil. It's the dirt that got pulled out of this house pad back in the excavation phase. This shot right here in particular shows how handy these sling trucks are. Just look at it. One guy can drive to the quarry, get the rock, come back to the job, and place it, even if it's across the other side of the job, really accurately, no one else needed, and it's not even a lot of labor because he's just running it with a remote control. So very cool. The company who makes these is just up the road in Eugene, and last year I was really lucky to get to go through their facility and do some filming and interview them. It's a great story, and if you like the look of this machine, I recommend you check that video out. Well, it absolutely poured all weekend, and this job site, and especially the trenches, are now full of water. Look at that. The trench is full of water, and it's floated these pipes up to the top. Well, we had some real bad luck with the weather. As you can see, and as you have been seeing with these time-lapse videos, it's just been rainy and therefore super muddy. Now, the mud itself, I don't think is a big deal, and for dirt guys like this, it's really no big deal. That's just kind of comes with the territory in this trade, and especially in this part of the country where we get a lot of rain. But in this situation, it did get a little more complicated with drainage, and let me show you. Now, the problem wasn't just that this trench filled up with water and floated the conduits up, although that was annoying. But the problem we've been having is a little more to do with the storm drain, which is this pipe right there. And I say storm drain, I don't know if that's the right term. This is the drain that ties into a culvert that runs under the driveway. And there's a grate right about here, and that takes it down the hill and away, but it's blocked. And so basically all the water that's been coming down from the street here has been getting blocked wherever the blockage is, and then filling through what should be our drain back into the trench, causing a bunch of problems. So there you go, there's the quick version. But none of this would have been a problem if we were in the summertime, but man, the winter and the rain, this is not the ideal time to be wrestling with this. Although it could always be worse, and I guess if it was, well, it's not raining right now, for example, so I guess I should probably just be grateful for that. The final task for these guys are the drains, and there's two drains getting installed here. The first is known as the gutter drains, and that is this pipe that's going on the footing. It will eventually be hooked up to the rain gutters. So all the rain that hits the roof will land in the gutters, which will move down into this pipe, which will then exit out to that storm drain I was pointing at. And I'll mention that this gutter drain system wraps clear around the house. The water can flow to the clockwise or counterclockwise. Either way will lead it out to the storm drain system. The other drain is a crawl space drain or a low point drain, and that is basically a pipe that connects to the lowest part of the crawl space. In case water finds its way in there, it'll come to the lowest part and move its way out to the storm drain as well. And there is like a valve or a flapper so that water that comes down the rain gutters can't then turn around and come back in the house to the crawl space. There's a little flapper valve there.
It's just a flapper valve.
Love it. Jeez,
So
that's
it lets
cool.
the water out and doesn't let it go back in.
I love it. Yep. And then if we need to clean something out, you can get to it right there.
Yep.
This is just a shot of the final backfill where they're filling up all the trenches, filling up around the house, and cleaning this all up and getting it ready for construction. Now, dirt work happens in phases, so there will be at least one more phase to the dirt work on this job. They will have to bring the water and gas to the house, but you'll see that later. For now, I think this is about where I'm going to stop this video. This was a really fun project to watch. Anytime you're watching heavy equipment being operated by a professional, you just feel like a little kid, like you just can't take your eyes off it. So I had a great time watching them do this work, and I couldn't be happier with the way it turned out. Thanks for watching, Essential Craftsman. Keep up the good work.